Hi, everyone. I'm Sue Landelina. Thanks for joining us for our first afternoon of Virtual Career Tuesday. We actually tagged this one as a double duty on Career Tuesday. So we're super happy to have Otis Elevator here today joining us. And for those of you who don't know, Otis Elevator is the world's largest elevator and escalator manufacturing, installation, and service business. They are proud to be a global team that continues to rise to the challenges of a fast-moving, high-performance company. Together, the people of Otis are creating new ideas and opportunities by collaborating across time zones, thank you, geographies, and cultures to better serve their customers. And so the tagline for them today is just imagine where you can take your career. So today we have with us Linda Lamb, and Linda is an early career program manager focused on talent acquisition and talent development of early career roles, easy for her to say, hard for me, early career roles, internship trainee programs and rotational programs. She's been with Otis Elevator for 12 years. She received her undergrad degree in business management from Northeastern Illinois University and her MBA from National Louis University. We also have with us Madison McDonald, who will be graduating from UConn in 22. She's a mathematics major. She's currently employed at Otis doing a co-op/internship. And probably around 4:30, we'll have another student joining us, Nicholas Rappi. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He was a marketing major, and he is graduating in 2020. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Linda if you have a little introduction you'd like to do, and then I have some Q&A for you. But if you'd like to start us off, Linda, that would be great.
Wonderful. Is there an option for me to be able to share a couple of slides, or would it be just more informal conversation, if you would?
Sure, you can go ahead and share. Thankfully, we still have a tech person on hand because I clearly will not be able to help you with that. But I believe that you can go down to the bottom of your screen where it says share. If perhaps we'll have to hand off my little moderator button or host button to be able to do that.
Yeah, Trisha, you can just drag that ball in the participants menu.
Yeah, down to Linda.
Over to Linda, yeah.
There you go. You should be able to do it now, Linda.
At the bottom of your screen, do you see where it says share?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me just navigate through that in just a second
here. These are the times when I'm missing my I'll call him my friend Alex Trebek, so perhaps he could have given us some other info. Here you go, Linda. Great.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, everyone. It is such a pleasure for myself, Madison, and Nick to be here to speak with everybody. Thank you as well for the warm introduction. We're really excited to really talk a little bit more about Otis. So just again, quickly, again, my name is Linda Lamb. I am the Early Career Program Manager for Otis Americas, and I have Madison McDonald, who's our tax intern and co-op, also a UConn student with me, and then Nicholas Rappi, who is a intern this past summer. He's actually a two-time return intern and an incoming sales trainee for us as well, also a student from UConn, who will be joining to share his experience as well. So thank you again for this opportunity. So I just wanted to start off by talking a little bit about introduction to Otis. Otis really is the world's leading provider of elevators, escalators, and moving walkways. We have over 69,000 employees, of which 40,000 of them are our field technicians, servicing our elevators and escalators through buildings throughout the city, across North America as well. We're celebrating over 168 years of industry-leading innovation We serve more we serve in more than 200 countries and territories, and every single day we move approximately 2 billion people. So as you just can imagine, the impact that Otis has within the landscape that we see today. I'm so proud to be able to share a little bit more about our organization and the different opportunities that we have. So our vision and our aspiration is really to give people the freedom to, connect and thrive in a taller, faster, and, smarter world. When you think about, the pace of urbanization and digitalization, it's just really going to accelerate. And this means that buildings are getting taller. And with that, we're really proud that, we have a role to help people, thrive and connect in this faster and ever-changing world. So when we think about, Otis and the legacy that we have, we look at the innovations that we've continued to strive throughout the industry. First, from the safety elevator through Elijah Otis back in 1852, all the way through to the double deck elevators that we see today, through continued digitalization as well. So we've overcome previous height limits. We've increased building passenger capacity without taking valuable space. We've computerized controllers to cut travel time. We've created flexible steel belts that last twice as long. So we're always continuously innovating and really leading the way to define the industry that we created back in 1852. So, we're certainly very proud of our legacy, but we're also focused on the future, right? And our CEO and President Judy Marks spoke about our investment, specifically investing in areas like data analytics, machine learning, cloud computing, to really meet the needs of our passenger and customers in a digital age. So as we're talking about reinventing the way that, passengers move across the elevator industry, there's a couple of different, innovations and technologies, such as Compass Plus, where, it groups you and other passengers going to the same destination just so that you can get there faster. We have OptiSense, which is video analytics to use to monitor like the passenger traffic and sending elevators to the floor where they're needed the most. And then eCall is a smartphone app that allows passengers to summon an elevator from anywhere in the building. So even before you get to the elevator is actually there waiting for you and ready to take you to your next destination. So wonderful technology when you think about, how we're reinventing the way that people move. And of course, we understand that there is a huge commitment to sustainability. And so with building accounting for over 40% of global energy use, we're committed to developing those sustainable solutions, right? So if you think about our Sky Motion machines, where we, reduce energy loss up to 50%, our Gen 2 switch, which, uses less electricity than most household appliances, and our Compass Plus dispatching saves energy by moving some elevators to standby mode when the traffic is light. So we're certainly very much committed to making sure that, when we think about innovation, we think about sustainable solutions for the world as well. And who are our customers? Our customers are developers, architects, general contractors, government entities, building owners, facility managers. So for over 166 years, we've really been helping our customer realize their vision. And they trust us because we're a reputable, leading organization that really paves the way within the industry. And we're trusted with most of the world's largest complex projects. You think about, the Burj Khalifa, one of the tallest buildings in the world, the New York Empire State Building as well. But not only are these large complex projects are we involved in, but we're involved in just everyday buildings, from the malls to the hospitals to the residential buildings. So Otis has an impact all across, regardless of whether it's a complex project or just everyday buildings that you encounter in your day-to-day life. And being an industry leader, we know the importance of making sure that, our values, our behaviors align to that as well. And for us, what drives our behaviors are these three absolutes, which is our safety, our ethics, and our quality. And really, no matter what role we play within the organization, and even with our customers, we expect everyone to, uphold themselves to the highest ethical, safety, and quality standards there are. And I get a lot of questions about Otis's culture. What is the culture like at Otis? And I can say that it's really summarized into 5 of these cultural statements. One is we celebrate imagination, where we encourage new thinking and smart risk taking that lead to that innovation. We believe in us, where we empower and inspire each other through support, autonomy, and trust. We are many voices, where ideas come from diverse teams of thinkers. We are better together, where we align as one team to collaborate to serve our customers, and we strive to be the best, where we know we set big goals, rise to achieve them, and really win as a team. And this really encompasses and embodies the culture that Otis has. I also get a lot of questions about, what makes us different? What is it that we look for here at Otis? And really, it's our people that make us different, in addition to our leading and innovative products and services. And what is it that we look for, right? We look for individuals that also embody the same that we believe in within our culture, those that really celebrate imagination, collaboration, inclusion, empathy, empowerment, and pace. And then in return, we certainly do offer exciting and purposeful work, a place where people can be themselves and the best ideas win. We offer meaningful career opportunities for people to grow, and we certainly offer a robust compensation and benefits package as well. So I won't go into too much, but I just wanted to highlight that we certainly have very competitive benefits, including health, retirement, and savings, financial planning, and of course, time off. But more importantly, we understand that education is the key as well to a continued lifelong journey that people have. And in support of that, we have a very competitive employer scholar program, where we pay for your tuition, fees, and academics as well. So for students that are interested in further pursuing their education, we do offer our Employee Scholar Program, which is an excellent benefit for those that want to continue their lifelong journey of continued education. In addition to that, we have employees resource groups that really help our team feel valued and empowered, and really shows the inclusive global organization that we are. We have various employee resource groups that are available, from our Otis for All, our Ford, which is our Women in Field operation, to our Otis Pride, and our New Talent Network, which really helps new hires assimilate into our organization as well. So wonderful organizations and resource groups that are available to our employees as well. So what are some of the opportunities we currently have available? As I made mention, my role really focuses on the talent acquisition and talent development of early career positions. And there's generally 3 entry points within the organization, 2 of which are through the full-time programs that we have. One of them is our trainee program, which focuses on sales and project management. These full-time trainee programs are roughly about 4 to 6 months in duration, where you get in-depth development and training in sales and project management. We do offer these opportunities for starts in January, February, and June and July to accommodate our graduating seniors and rising seniors. We also have a rotational program, which we call our Rising Leaders Program. It's a 2-year leadership development rotation program in the areas of digital technology, engineering, finance, or operations. So 4 different tracks, rotations to give you different experiences within those tracks, and that starts in June of 2021. And then finally, we have paid internship opportunities as well. Our internship opportunities are 10 to 12 weeks in duration. They generally start in May to June of 2021. There's opportunities all across the US in sales, project management, finance, engineering, digital technology, and operations as well. So I do have a note here in reference to our career site. So I certainly do encourage anyone interested in learning more about Otis to visit our career site. I will also drop my contact information in the chat feature as well to ensure that if there are any questions that the students have as they go through their journey of exploring career opportunities, however way that I can support and assist to provide information, answer questions, I am more than happy to engage with the students. So I will certainly drop my contact information, but I also wanted to share our career site in the event the students would like to do some self-research on opportunities that we have. And so I certainly took some time here to talk about our organization, but I really do want everyone to have an opportunity to hear from fellow UConn students that are Otis interns and co-ops as well. And with that, I'd love to hand it over to Madison McDonald to share a little bit more about her experience and a little bit more about herself. Madison?
Hi, thank you, Linda. That was great. You kind of covered some of my points that I had for my presentation. But so hi, I'm Madison McDonald. Obviously, I go to UConn. I'm a junior, so I graduate in May 2022. I'm a math and sociology double major. And some of the things I do on campus, I'm a woman in STEM mentor. I was an FYE mentor, and I was a WOW leader, so week of welcome and first year experience. I really love just sharing my experience, obviously, with other people so they can benefit from any advice that I might have or learning experiences that I've also went through. So I work in Farmington, Connecticut when we don't have COVID, world headquarters, Otis, and I started in September of 2019, so I've been here just over a year now, and I'm a co-op, so I work during the school year as well as the summer. And I just put a little few interests down there because it's fun fact, I guess, kind of thing. I enjoy shopping, playing with my dog, who you might see in the background here, and cooking. So I wrote down a few reasons why I chose Otis and then why I continue to choose Otis and stay here and not look for other opportunities. First, Linda gave a great introduction and background of, we're an industry leader, so that's obviously really attractive to me. Working for a really big company, I get great opportunities to network, grow, and learn. I also really love, as Linda mentioned, our embrace of diversity. So our CEO, Judy Marks, commits that by 2030, 50% of our executives will be women. And obviously, as a woman in STEM and as a woman in business, this is really, really attractive to me. I just love that it's so diverse and we're so able to accept everyone and anyone. Also, Linda mentioned a bunch of reasons why we've innovated and changed during these trying times. So I think that's something that is really valuable at a company if you're able to innovate and change. Spinning off from UTC as well as being in the middle of a pandemic. So that's obviously very impressive. Otis also truly cares for its employees. I'll talk more about the culture and my experience with that the next slide. And finally, Otis really embraces its interns as its company's future. I think the programs offered are so great for any future. Otis has so many different departments. If you want to go into engineering, finance, whatever you want to do, Otis really believes that interns are their future. So they're really open arms to the younger generation. And then transitioning over to why I've stayed here for just over a year now, I've gotten continual support from my mentors and supervisors. Obviously, Linda has been a huge help to me, kind of navigating my way As a sophomore, it's kind of scary and difficult to get an internship, and I think I've had so much help from both UConn and Otis. Again, it's such a friendly work environment. The culture there is just amazing. I do interesting work, which I'll also talk about on the next slide. I don't feel like I'm the typical intern, like making copies or going to get coffee. It's like really interesting work, and I feel like I'm an employee and not necessarily an intern. I do like real work and not intern work. I find my work challenging, and if you didn't notice, I like a little challenge. That's a double major. And the Rising Leaders program, as Linda mentioned, is definitely very attractive as well. So when I graduate in a year or so, I'm definitely going to be applying to that. I've had lots of opportunity to chat and network with the other interns. It's not like I'm in this closed bubble at home. Even this summer when we were all virtual, Linda took the time to put together once a week meetings so that we could really get to know one another and support each other with any difficulties we may have, or to kind of show our highlights and share our accomplishments. So I thought that was really, really great, and I really appreciated that. So next I will talk about my experience there and kind of what some of the things I've done and why it's been so great. So again, I started in September 2019 when Otis was still a part of bigger UTC. So I was technically UTC working at Otis. I was a sophomore, so I had little to no knowledge of business. So very scary again. So I've learned lots and lots of new software, and obviously awesome Excel skills, which everyone needs in the business world. That's a great interview question right there, if you have Excel skills. Again, lots of intern support and networking. For example, the department took the whole team to the Essex Steam Train, and we just had a day to kind of get to know one another, decompress, and play some games. And I think that's really great to take a breath once in a while and really get to know your team, because chemistry is kind of everything. If you work well together, the business will do well. So I really appreciate that Otis takes care of its employees. And some of the projects I did while UTC, I ran forecast reports, analyzed balance sheet information, and examined transfer pricing documentation. Those are just a few things that I did in tax. That is obviously not limited, but those are some of my favorites. And then March 2019, I switched to Otis right before the spin. We were virtual, so I didn't really get to do much in person there. And that is something to note. We became a standalone company amidst a global pandemic, so that's something seriously to be impressive. And there were lots of changes, but Otis made sure the transition was very smooth. I didn't have any hardships during the transition. My managers and the team were there to support me. I have all the resources I need to continue working from home, which is great. And some projects that I'm working on now include transfer pricing and international tax, tax returns and domestic tax, risk management work related to the budget. And I also correspond with FP&A and other public accounting firms outside of Otis, where we are trying to implement new systems to Otis. So I think we're working to make Otis even better than it already is. And I just wanted to know that even if you're stuck in a department, like I'm in tax right now, but I still get to coordinate with finance. Sorry, my dog is playing with a toy in the background. I still get to coordinate with like finance in different departments to be able to grow even more. I would also like to note that my dog's name actually is Otis, so I like the company so much that I named him Otis. So that's definitely yeah, that's definitely a great introduction to the company. And I think I have one more slide. Oh, and that picture there is just me working from the office, which is not current, but finally, I actually was interviewed for an article in UConn Today. It's kind of just my advice for people in college seeking internships and the struggles it can be in a pandemic. And I just gave some advice for anyone looking to get some tips. And I definitely would look for Otis internships going forward. I cannot say enough good things about Otis. Linda has made it so good for me. We're not even in the same state, but Linda works to make sure that we have all the support we need, and anything I want career-wise, we work towards getting. So yeah, Otis has been great for me.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing, Madison. And Trisha, I don't know if Nick was able to join us quite yet, because that's the next segment that I have, and I know we're right on the almost the half-hour mark here.
Yeah, I don't see him in the lobby yet.
Okay, great. So with that, then, I maybe we can move forward. Again, we'll have Nick jump in when he is available to connect with us, talk a little bit more about his experience as well. But I would love to open it up then for any Q&A or anything that the students would like to know more about. Would love to open that up at this moment.
If anyone has any questions, they can certainly put them into the chat, or you can unmute yourself and feel free to go ahead forward. In the meantime, what I will go ahead and ask Madison is that not a lot of students at UConn participate in co-op. So I'd like to just kind of get your feedback if this was non-COVID time, would be as functional for you and work as well for you? In other words, you're remote at home and classes, so it's a bit easier to manage. You'll be able to continue during if we were not in a remote environment.
Yeah, so I think you cut out for me a little bit towards the end, but I think the question was, is it kind of better working in person compared to online in the pandemic? Is that kind of the summary of your question?
Not necessarily. I really am more curious about not a lot of students participate in co-ops at UConn, as you probably very well know. So just maybe trying to provide a overarching experience for those students who are not familiar with a co-op and what that would mean for a during this non-traditional time, right? So you're remote for your classes and you're remote for work. If this was non-COVID, would you be able to continue with your co-op?
Yeah, so I actually, last semester as well, I did, actually, this is my third semester now as a co-op, so I've done it during school and virtual, so I did in-person and virtual, so both have been fine for me. I've taken 5 classes in person last semester, and then I work 20 to 25 hours a week at Otis, which sounds like a lot, so I don't want to scare you, but it's definitely very manageable. I'd say there's pros and cons to in person and online. Definitely not having to drive everywhere and make the deadlines and schedules is definitely a pro. It's easy to do my work from home or in person. I have the support I need from my mentors and anyone I can call at any time or email. So the co-op experience in person has been great, but the transition to virtual has also just been great, and there hasn't been like anything stopping me from being able to do my work. So I have all the resources I need.
Excellent. I think over my larger point is that students shouldn't be afraid to go ahead and apply for a co-op. I think oftentimes we find that the word co-op is not as compatible for many students as the word internship. It's full knowledge that obviously location makes a difference, but I think what I'm trying to get at is that those that are listening now and perhaps in the future listening to the recording is that word co-op should be something that they embrace and not think of as something completely different.
Yeah.
Appreciate your insight. Thank you. I do see that Nick is in the lobby, and I'll go ahead and admit him. Hi, Nick.
Hi, how's it going?
Great. How are you?
I'm great.
Thanks for joining us. I already gave a brief little introduction about who you were earlier. So we just finished up with a portion of Linda's presentation and was just waiting for you to log in. So perfect timing. I don't know if Linda, you want to go ahead and reshare, or if Nick, if you need a minute to regroup. But can definitely, Linda can go ahead and reshare and start the presentation from Nick's point, or
Yeah.
no? Great.
Great. All right. Nick, if I can, I'll just go ahead and just quickly share. Right. And then I'll hand it over to you, Nick.
All right, perfect. Hi, everyone. So you have to excuse me, I just got out of class, but I'm happy to be here talking to you now. Oh, I'm getting a lot of feedback. I don't know if that's someone else has their mic on or if that's on me.
Nick, if you click on the arrow next to the mute button and then click on settings, you can lower your input level. That's the second slider on the bottom.
Okay, is that better? Yeah,
Perfect.
sounds better. Okay, thank you for that. All right, so yes, I'm a senior here at the University of Connecticut. I'm a marketing major, and I've had a great experience with Otis so far. I just want to talk to you a little bit about what my experience has been and what I'm moving into starting in January. So I have interned with Otis these past 2 summers, and I will be taking a full-time role after I graduate. This is actually my last semester here at UConn. And so I have worked. Sorry, I'm just adjusting my sound a little. There we go. That should be good. Can you still hear me? All right.
It's really low. Like
Hold on. All right. What about now?
better.
Okay. Cool. Earbuds saved the day. Anyways, yes. So I have been able to work with Otis at 2 different locations in my time with the company, which is great. So in the summer of 2019, I had my first internship with them working in sales, and I started out in the Stamford branch. And it was really meaningful to me because when I was looking for an internship, I really wanted to find a company that would allow me to take a really active role, do meaningful projects, and learn a lot in the process, because it's not just about putting something on your resume. I wanted to really learn these skills and be able to apply them throughout my career as it went on. And just in the talks I had, my interview and everything, it really seemed like Otis was a company that prioritized getting the interns those meaningful projects and all that useful skill that they could develop throughout. And so my experience was super positive there. I was able to work with lots of great professionals who were super helpful, explained all aspects of the business to me while I assist them with their actual tasks. It wasn't an internship where I was grabbing coffee or doing, busy work. I was actually participating in the full sales process, learning about the business finances, budget numbers, all different elements of how the branch worked. So that was really great, and I wanted to continue my work with Otis the next summer. And so they were really flexible too. They said, is there anything that we could change? Is there a different aspect of the business you'd like to see, or a different location you'd want to work at? I really enjoy sales. I'm a people person. I like talking and meeting new people. And so I said, I'd like to stay with that. But if I could work at a new branch and get even more of an insight into the business and how it functions, that would be really positive. So my second summer, I was actually at the Hartford branch instead, working with them. Unfortunately, with COVID, it was online, so it wasn't quite the same in-person experience, but I still had the opportunity to meet new people and get sort of a different outlook because every branch sort of does things in a different way. And as much as I love doing stuff in person, going out to client meetings, seeing equipment, the online experience was still really positive. And they made it into its own sort of deal that was different than the in-person experience, but still a great learning experience regardless. And so I was able to meet or virtually meet and work with interns from all over the Eastern region, learn about their backgrounds, what they were doing at their branch, and they also organized a bunch of different video meetings with people high up in the company. So we were able to meet with the CEO of the company, the head of sales and marketing for North America. We did a virtual tour of the factory, met the people who worked there. So having that opportunity as a college student to meet and ask questions of the CEO of a Fortune 500 company was really incredible. And they were able to pull together this online internship process that I'm sure there was so much craziness behind the scenes trying to get to work, trying to make sure everyone could still be productive and learn a lot during that time period. And I know Linda did a great job with all of that. And so I'm really grateful for the experience I was able to have both of those summers, even in the different formats, and all that I was able to learn and apply towards my career. Now, I guess I did a decent enough job because I was offered a full-time position, and I will be starting as a sales trainee at the Hartford branch starting in January. And then hope from there I can move on into a full account management position and continue my experience with Otis even further. So I've really enjoyed my time with them, and I look forward to continuing my career.
Wonderful.
If anyone has any questions about my experience, anything along the lines of that, feel free to speak up, something in chat, whatever you want to do.
No, appreciate it. Thank you, Nick, for sharing. Really do appreciate that.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, Nick has done a phenomenal job, and we're really excited to have him on board full time upon his graduation, and certainly looking forward to Madison's continued journey with Otis for summer 2021 as well.
So, Linda, I'm going to go ahead and put out just a couple of questions. And I know that you covered much of this information, and I truly appreciate it. For the students that are listening now and hopefully in the future as well, the full-time opportunities really explained very clearly what was available and the internship opportunities as well. But I'd like to know a little bit, maybe we could dive a little bit deeper into the interview process. And maybe you could explain what that actually looks like. Do you have a variety of formats, or depend upon the hiring managers for different locations? So maybe you could share with us your insights in that area.
Sure, absolutely. So there is varying process based on the program and the position. So I'll start with the internship program. So for our internship programs, for students that are interested, we want to encourage everyone to apply. To formally express interest in the opportunity. Once we receive the application, a member of our talent acquisition team will be reviewing the application and resume, and then selecting individuals to move on to the next step in the process, which is an on-demand hire view. So that's an online video platform. There's a couple of questions that the leadership team would like to ask each one of the candidates. And then once the student completes the on-demand hire view, the talent acquisition team will review that and then move forward students for consideration to the hiring manager and the HR business partner for that particular location. Once the hire view is assessed at that point, then those that are selected to move on to the final round of interviews will have an opportunity to interview with the hiring manager for internship opportunities. So the first step is the application. The next step is an on-demand hire view. And then the final will be a final round of interview with the hiring manager for internship opportunities. That's our process for internships. For our full-time training program, same very initial beginning process, which is the application through our career site. And then an on-demand hire view is the next step in the process. And then after that would be a interview with potentially one of the managers. So for instance, in sales, it would probably be with a branch sales manager or a regional sales manager. And then finally, you know, our candidates for our full-time training program go through sort of a virtual super day, if you would, where they have sort of a panel style interview to meet with a number of leaders so that they can learn more about the opportunity and the leaders can learn a little bit more about them before a final decision is made. So ultimately, we do have a very consistent process that is very similar. The only difference is towards the very end where we do have sort of a panel style interview, if you would, for our full-time opportunities, just so that the full-time candidates have an opportunity to engage with our leaders. Our interns, of course, you know, will certainly have those opportunities during their internship, so that's not embedded as part of the interview process.
Great, thank you. Thanks.
Absolutely.
So maybe just to drill back even further, right? Besides, obviously, it's great to get the interview, but let's talk about the resume a little bit. There always seems to be a lot of discussion, and every employer is very different with what they're looking for within a resume. But could you give us a brief overview of what your key components are of the resume and what you're actually looking for when you view the resume?
Sure, absolutely. I think it's really important that the students really um, try to focus on what it is that they're hoping to aspire to obtain, and if they are definitely open to broad experience, please make that known. We see a lot of times resume that a student is applying for a specific position, let's say in digital technology, yet they put a heading that says they're interested in finance, right? So we certainly always ask students to make sure they pay a little bit of attention to some of those little details, right? Where as recruiters and as talent acquisition members, we pay attention to those little details, and we look for what it is that the students have expressed as far as maybe their described interests, what they are involved in terms of extracurricular activities, leadership roles that they've taken within their university and schools, projects that they're involved in. Of course, if they have internship experience, it's great to be able to highlight that as well. But if they don't, I think it's very important for them to lean back on their educational courses, their projects, their experiences as well. It's very important to be able to highlight transferable skills, right, on a resume. So, when I look at early career positions, I understand that a resume may not have all those experiences, but it's important on how they are able to articulate it in a written format so that we can see that, they may not have direct experience, but they're involved in a lot of different areas within, their community, within their student organization, within their school and university. Those play very important key roles for recruiters to look at, and particularly myself, especially in the early career space. So it's very important that they are able to, translate that into their resume, even though they may feel they may not have direct experience. But there's a lot of things that can be transferable, that can be seen through the resume. And so taking the time to add those details and be sure to be able to reflect that will certainly go a long way for our recruiters when they're looking at resumes.
That's excellent. Great. And I do see that you put your contact information within the chat. So if students actually wanted to reach out to you, totally comfortable to have them reach out to you directly with any questions or concerns that they may have about the process.
Absolutely. Any questions about the process, any questions about opportunities, any questions as they, start their journey or are in their journey in exploring career opportunities, be more than happy to provide any, support, resource, and assistance.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. As I indicated earlier, and perhaps it wasn't during the recording session, but that seems to be the big takeaway for students oftentimes is that they just want to be able to reach out to the recruiter and have that conversation. And as Madison and Nick both pointed out, how grateful they are for your leadership and support in many areas. So I appreciate you extending that even further to our students. I appreciate that. So,
Absolutely.
Linda, do you have anything at this particular point that you would like to add? Otherwise, I want to make sure I give the students an opportunity if they have any questions within the chat, but I also want to be mindful about our time. So anything, Linda, Madison, or Nick, that you'd like to add?
I don't have anything else to add. Again, I just wanted to say, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you to Madison and Nick for coming along and sharing your journey with the students as well. Certainly very appreciative of that. And, I'm certainly open to any questions at this point.
Great, great. Well, I don't see that anyone has actually added anything at this point. And again, I want to be mindful. This is last call. If any students that are out there right at this point in time, if you have any questions, please, please, please submit them now in the chat, or please reach out to Linda if you choose to do so. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Remind those of you who are listening now or in the future that our next Tuesday is with CDW. And that will be next week. And until then, I appreciate everyone's time and patience, and stay well, do good, and be good. Take good care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.